Turning to our politics lead today, CNN has learned that President Trump is pushing for the appointment of two separate special counsels. One that would investigate voting integrity in the 2020 election, and the other to investigate Hunter Biden, the president-elect's son, who is already under investigation by the U.S. Attorney in Delaware for potential tax violations and money laundering. That's according to sources familiar with the matter. This as President Trump attacks Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, for daring to acknowledge reality. That is, that Joe Biden won the presidential election. Outgoing President Trump says it's too soon to give up. CNN's Caitlin Collins joins me now live. And Caitlin, the U.S. is going to soon have a new acting Attorney General, Jeffrey Rosen, replacing Bill Barr in these final few weeks of the Trump administration. Do we know if Jeffrey Rosen is on board with appointing these special counsels?
We don't know, and we don't even know if the president has actually signaled to Jeffrey Rosen personally that this is something he wants, but the president is publicly making this clear. He's talking about it in meetings in the West Wing with his advisors. Of course, now it's being reported in the media, so it could complicate things, though, with Barr's departure, how this is going to work or what is possibly going to happen, because what we're told by sources, Jake, is the president is intent on getting these separate special counsels, one for voter fraud, alleged voter fraud, we should say, and one for this Hunter Biden investigation that's already underway. But we don't know what Jeffrey Rosen would do or if he would try to get Barr to do it before he leaves a week from today. We have heard that the president has speculated about whether he could appoint a special counsel, though DOJ rules are that the attorney general must do it, just like how Jeff Sessions did with, of course, how that chain of command happened that led us to have Robert Mueller as the special counsel. And so we don't know that he'd actually follow through with it. So then, of course, it raises the next question, which is, would the president fire Jeffrey Rosen if he refused to nominate and appoint these special counsels? And Jake, those are still questions that we don't have the answers to. And typically the president would probably be advised against that. But sources say right now he is more unpredictable than ever.
And Caitlin, President Trump held a cabinet meeting today. The first one in a long time, and a lot of people in the cabinet did not show up. What happened?
Yeah, it's not clear how much of a heads up they got that this cabinet meeting was happening. It was behind closed doors today, and typically the president likes the cameras to come in, but they did not have us go in today. And so we later learned from the White House that a lot of people did not show up, including anyone from the Justice Department, anyone from the Pentagon, anyone from the State Department, or anyone from the CIA. None of them were there. And typically, if a cabinet secretary can't make it, if they're traveling, or maybe if they're quarantining like Secretary of State Pompeo is, given he came into contact with someone with coronavirus, they would send a deputy instead. But none of those agencies sent deputies there, Jake. And so we've asked the agencies why no one was at this meeting, given it is a cabinet meeting with the president, even though, of course, they still have only 5 weeks left to go. So it's not really clear what they would accomplish, but those agencies have not gotten back to us on a reason why they weren't there yet, Jake.
Maybe they had job interviews. Caitlin, stick around. I want to bring in former Congresswoman Mia Love, Republican of Utah, to talk about all of this. So let me start with you, Congresswoman Love. Hunter Biden is being investigated by the U.S. Attorney in Delaware for potentially violating tax and money laundering laws. It might make sense for justice reasons to appoint a special counsel because otherwise, how can the American people have faith that the Biden administration can handle this all fairly? But also, I have to say, this does solve a potential conflict for whomever Biden picks as Attorney General. They won't have to decide what to do. What do you think of it all?
Well, I think that, and no one is above the law. So, yes, it does make sense. It might be able to help the Biden administration. But I want to be very clear that the time for us to continue to have special counsels to investigate political opponents, really, we have to get away from that. These are not the tools that should be used by the taxpayer dollars. And so if there's something wrong, absolutely look into it. We don't want anybody to feel like they're above the law, and we don't want anybody abusing their position. However, we also don't want to set this precedent that you can use special counsels to investigate your opponents. It's not good for the American public. It's not good for us as Americans.
Which is certainly how outgoing President Trump intends to use the special counsel. Caitlin, there's also this idea of President Trump wanting to appoint a special counsel to investigate the 2020 election and alleged voter fraud, but there have already been at least 3 recounts, lots of investigations, lots of court hearings, at least 4 dozen of them. There has been no evidence of widespread voter fraud. what is there to investigate for a special counsel? It's already been looked into by a ton of officials and judges and other people, Republicans and Democrats and nonpartisan people.
And also the Justice Department, which the president wants to appoint the special counsel to look into this. We heard from Bill Barr when he said that they actually did look into some of the specific claims that the president and his allies were making. He said the Department of Homeland Security also looked into it, and they did not find any evidence of this widespread coordinated fraud, these allegations that you've heard from the president and other Republicans. So it's not clear why they would do that. But what is clear is that the president wants it. And he's even talked about people who could be the special counsels, mulled over some appointees who could potentially take that role. So whether or not it actually comes to fruition is still a question. But we know, Trump has 5 weeks left in office. He's made pretty clear he's got a few things that he wants to get done before he leaves. And this is something that I'm told by sources he has talked extensively about in recent days.
And Congresswoman Love, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who recognized that Joe Biden won yesterday, he's also now warning his caucus, Republican senators, do not challenge the election results on the floor on January 6th. But today, Republican Senator Josh Hawley said he has not ruled out such a move. Now, last night, CNN asked House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, the Republican from California, to acknowledge that Joe Biden won in the Electoral College. What you hear is crickets. Take a look.
Now that Joe Biden won the election and he's president-elect.
Kevin McCarthy just completely ignoring the question, completely ignoring more than 80 million American voters. At what point are your former colleagues, House Republicans, going to acknowledge reality here?
I understand waiting for the Electoral College to make their decisions. I understand waiting for these results. But at this point, I think, there's a lot of work to do. People have got to move on, understand the situations. The same way I said that there was an election held in 2016 and Donald Trump was the president. There was an election held in 2020, which Joe Biden became the president-elect. So we need to move on. There are a lot of things that people need to do. People they're concerned about coronavirus. They're concerned about how the economy is going. They're concerned about making sure that they put food on the table. I mean, we've got to move on. This is the reality, and I think that elections have consequences.
And Caitlin, it's really remarkable how much President Trump has not been talking to the likes of you, to reporters. He's done a couple interviews on his favorite channel, but beyond that, he's really hiding, almost the way he used to make fun of Joe Biden, hiding in his basement. I mean, he's really inaccessible. What do you make of it all?
It's incredibly rare for us to not hear from the president the way that he has been acting over the last several weeks. And not opening up the cabinet meeting today really said it all, because that is something that typically the president always asks for reporters to come in. I can really only think of one cabinet meeting that happened last year where reporters were not brought into the room. He brought us in May when they had one. And so it really is indicative of this larger sense that you're seeing from the president, where he just doesn't want to speak to reporters. And it also seems to be filtering over into his personal life and what he typically does during the holidays. Because remember, during Thanksgiving, he canceled a trip to Mar-a-Lago. I was told that was because he wanted to get a lot of things done. Right now, there's a lot of internal confusion about whether or not he's going to be going at all for the Christmas break. Some people, senior staffers, have said they don't think that he is going to be making that trip. And so, that is often an opportunity where the president goes golfing. He, walks around and bumps elbows with guests in the dining room at Mar-a-Lago. It's one of his favorite activities. And so you're just not seeing the normal behavior that you see from Donald Trump. And I think all of that has to do with the fact that he has been entirely consumed by this election loss.
All right, Caitlin Collins, thanks so much. Congresswoman Love, great to see you again. Merry Christmas. Thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Merry Christmas.